Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to see what happens if we took over Russia. Gonna be a weird video, but they declared war on these three countries as they're trying to reform, I guess, the Soviet Union or the Russian Empire, I'm guessing, I don't know. But they do successfully push in all of Georgia. I should mention, for the love of God, no EU, no NATO, no BRICS, no nothing. Nothing. So shush. Do not want to hear y'all in the comments saying fucking NATO. And obviously but anyways, these guys are really weak, so yeah, these guys do get pushed easily. Though, even after a little while, Russia declares that this is all Russia. And Ukraine did not appreciate it as of, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either, but I'm gonna get mad about it. Anyways, they declared war on Russia, but there's already a war there, so they just say this, but they also do advance in just pushing into Ukraine from the south. Obviously, Ukrainian troops expected from the side, so it will take them a while. But then finally, Russian troops enter from the north and pushes in northern Ukraine. So then eventually just more and more troops push inwards. Obviously, this is not the full Russian. Actually, yeah, the whole Russian army is here. So, fully mobilized Russian troops. They're professional and all. So, yeah, here's that. But anyways, they push into Ukraine, then they get stuck by armies. So, yeah. But Russia does make a new advantage, as they do just only push down more into the south. Very little, though, I should mention. Like, right there. But you may be wondering, what about Ukraine? What will Ukraine do? Well, obviously, Ukraine's going to be pushing them back. So, hey, it's not all good for Russia here, as Ukraine is pretty good in fighting for their nation. So they push the Russians back a bit, and then they get stuck. Then the Russians push back. But they do declare why not a peace treaty, and the battle ends here. They both agree with it, and let's just look at how that is, or the whole peace treaty goes. Now, looking at this peace treaty, Ukraine is kind of annexed by Russia. They also get this part, all of Crimea, and some part of the land. But then they cheat in a vote, and then they fully annexed, just all of Ukraine. This pissed off a lot of countries in Europe, but they can't really do anything because, NATO, EU does not exist at all, despite real life situations. But anyways, not even relevant right now. But yeah, they also declare, well, afterwards they declare war on them, and then Belarus. Don't know why they do twice, but whatever. Well, since they now have larger forces, they kind of just breeze through because Moldova's not that strong. But they do have some reform going into Belarus, as Belarus is decent countries in military wise, I think. I don't know. But since they are Russian allies, they don't really want to fight back. So, yeah. But later on, since they get. Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot about this part. So, oh, that's part of Sweden. My bad. Uh-huh. I thought it was just skipping. I thought, wait, just be weird. Um, boom. But yeah, since now they have a little placement, they get all their troops again, and from Belarus, they push right through. You may wonder why they kind of just quickly pushing in. Mainly because they want to get other places like Finland and Poland, because that is a main key factor for them. But they're soon to look at the stand countries, But they do also plan going this way, so eastern. But let's just look at this peace treaty. This peace treaty, yeah, they kind of fully annexed. Now, the world is questioning if this is the Russian Empire being reformed, or Jesus Christ. Anyway, or is just the USSR. But they, oh dear God, nope, that does not happen. They do declare war on Kazakhstan, mainly because this is going to be more of a difficult country as it is the largest and strongest of the stands. Not actually second strongest because that goes to Pakistan. The hardest country to invade is Afghanistan. Everyone knows this. You can't make it in Afghanistan. Well, you're trying to invade it. But anyways, I think only the Mongols could. Only the Mongols can invade. But Genghis is dead, so you can't really do that now, huh? You small ass country. Actually, you're decent with the but you have good history, so appreciate on that. Anyways, they do push into East Kazakhstan and eventually northern. Well, they go up more and they just fully flood in. As they do manage to get troops from the Siberian front, so they do manage. As Russia is currently the third strongest, they used to be second, but now they're third. So, but they do manage to push inward and and eventually they start using the navy and pushing in. So you may be wondering, why is Russia going quick? Well, mainly because they're just bombing places and because they're bored. But this little place, if Kazakhstan ever wanted to invade, they got here, in this little piece of land. Oh yeah, they also could just invade here. Anyone else could join this war, like one of these countries. Because I'm eventually going to fix the map in the way I want it to look. But anyways, that's not relevant. But they do start to push further in to the country. And eventually, they just wipe them out because they're bored. So, that's not the only thing that happens. Because the stand countries are kind of pissed that Russia's invading, that had decided to invade their friend. I don't do Pakistan or Afghanistan because that really wasn't part of Russia, really. But Russia does declare that they didn't want to fight them, but since they declared war, they're going to have to breeze through. And the stand countries were not happy, but they do begin to push into Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. But they do eventually just push through these weaker countries and just punch them in. Eventually, just wipe out both of them. And eventually, just because they're scared for the fucking life of them, these guys surrender. So now let's look at this whole peace treaty, shall we? Now looking at this peace treaty, this kind of looks like the USSR, but they also want to look kind of like the Russian Empire and the USSR. So what's the next place they're going to? Well, they're kind of looking at Finland, Poland, Eastern Germany. Just mark these guys out. They kind of just want this. Just yoink. Oh yeah, they also want kind of Kosovo, the Panhandle of Greece, Constantinople. This part of Turkey here. Oh yeah, they also want part of China, Mongolia, North Korea, part of Japan. You know, the typical Russian thing to look for. But right now, they since they did just settle in to the new places, they're going to be looking at Finland, the country that destroyed them before. Now, obviously, Finland is a hard country, and they are the happiest country, so like, gonna be easy. So, since Finland did kick their ass once, they say that they could do it again. But let's see, Chula. But they do just push inwards, kind of very little of it, but yeah, they do manage to push in, be near the capital, but yeah, the only thing they can really do is go near that border. And go up, which they do manage to go up north and just push them in. We'll push them downwards. But since this is Finland and they got the amazing skiing abilities, they kind of just push them out of the northern place. And so Finland declares that if they do any naval battle, which they are doing, that they will resort to bombs, but they don't really, it doesn't really go well until Russia does one thing, nukes them, and, just a typical, yep, they surrendered because they got nuked. Even though it was illegal and prohibited in this, but who cares, right? Not the Russians, us, so, but yeah. So yeah, that's something. I'm betting you weren't expecting that, were you? No, I don't think you were. Now, since they did fully annex Finland, they kind of just want to go, you know, looking at Mongolia, which Mongolia does accept as they did want to join the USSR. I'm not kidding, they wanted to join the USSR for protection. So, probably wouldn't have been useful as the good resources. But since after Mongolia, China got a little mad, and so their biggest ally, well, this started happening as North Korea kind of just joins China as they have closer relations to them. But with the opposite of them, Russia asks these guys to join, and also Japan joins in because they're South Korea's best friend, I think. I don't know. But Afghanistan stays neutral until the Russian bombings happen and they join on the stands. You may be wondering, what about India? So I'm saying India's not gonna join because they do got, fuck it. They join in this battle despite USSA telling them no, and they say, yeah, huh, bitch. And so let the battles continue. So now we're just going to be looking at just Afghanistan pushing inwards, kind of. And here goes the Russians. The Russians push inwards in parts of China, which they aren't really used to desert, but they kind of do got forces that could help them out now after the Itstanian Wars, part one, I guess. So yeah, they start pushing inwards, and with some forces, because crossfires and Japanese troops, I guess, they do push inwards, and Russian troops do push in from the other side of Korea. Even though borders, well, it's mainly Russians, and you can't really fight in the cold or Siberia except for Russia. Or you're from Alaska. But they do manage to push inwards a new front up here, and they do manage to take all this. So, oh yeah, they also India's forces. The Indian forces kind of just go up. So they go around Bhutan, which does kind of freak him out a little. But with just forces going upwards in here and just push inwards here. So now China is kind of just stuck there, which now India's pushing on from the sides. They go up like an arrow, but their forces had to be, you know, been focused onwards differently because here comes Pakistan and Afghanistan Afghanistani troops and Pakistani troops. I think that's what they're called. But they do cause a little problems for India up here. Now Taiwan. China does kind of push them upwards, but then Taiwan has some troops pushing inwards of China. But they do manage to just capture this whole island because they can, and not really troops are anywhere there. So they do get a new front. Yeah, they also push from here, but then they get stopped because there's a fuck ton of troops there. So what's up with North Korea? They get pushed. North Kim Jong-un's assassinated. North Korea falls. So yeah, they also do get a new frontier, which is all hope going in, hoping that this could end soon. But China's troops are pushing inwards of Mongolia as it is out of Mongolia, or now used what you was Mongolia, because remember they joined Russia, and they have a new front. So what's going to be happening next? Well, Afghanistan does get a larger front, but so does the Russians, which causes them to kind of panic because Afghanistan gets pushed in more, which also kind of not kind of yeah, kind of leads China to get pushed inwards, eventually reaching Indian troops. So yeah, this is what happens. But there is some hope for the blue side as they do push inwards, which kind of barely splits the country. So now forces have to be redrawn there, which is now just a stalemate, which they do manage to get larger ways. So yeah, now they're just stuck in a whole stalemate that none of them wanted to be in. So they all declare that the red team wins, kind of, and so does the blue team. But Russia, India, Japan, and South Korea get to choose what happens. And they all say fine. So let's look what happens in this peace. Now looking at this whole peace treaty, this looks kind of weird, I know. You may be wondering what happened and what all got annexed and what's all taken. Well, obviously, Manchuria gets kind of taken a little bit by Korea, but oh yeah, Korea is reunited. Japan has a colony right here, this little place, and Korea gets this little area. Here, this is Taiwan. This is what's left of China. This is Tibet. Pakistan is forced back into India. Afghanistan's to Russia. Parts of China as well, mainly going to Russia. But that's not the final bit, as there's one more thing we gotta do. You may be wondering, what is that? Well, actually, it's not even the final thing. They become a Russian puppet, alright? This is a huge place. So now, since Russia's larger, they're now looking back to the east, which then they declare war on all these guys. And then Germany joins in. So who else joins? Serbia, which Greece joins in because they are Russian, not Russian. Um, because Turkey joined, and these guys don't really got the best relationship together. So yeah, which causes a whole nother Balkan war, kind of. Nope, that's the only thing. Nope. God damn it, Europe. And then yeah, not looking good. But then actually, my man's kind of Russian, unlike. So yeah. So how is this gonna work? Good question. I have no clue. We're gonna find out. So obviously, which with larger forces, and why is that like that? No. Ah, there we go. Anyways, they push in from Albania. And they also go into Kosovo, which fully takes over the country, even though it's not even a fucking country to me, in my opinion. I don't really care. I don't want to hear the comments. But they also just push inwards to the rest of Albania, which obviously would not be like that, but then eventually they connect and they go. And why Jesus Christ, hold on. Hmm, there. Because this is going to end up pissing me off if I want to look at this. Alright, whatever. There. Now, stop it. But anyways, since they were focused there, Turkey gets a little uphand there. But Russia's here and they get Turkey by a 2x4. Which Turkey thought they wouldn't have to deal with that, but they do. So now they're at a stalemate with Russia for a little while. Till we get back to them. Basically, they do push into Poland a bit. So yeah, there's that. So yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, they do kind of just push inwards. Because Hungary also has a gets a little push in here. So yeah, this is how this is how this is going. Hungary, these guys will lose. The whole Balkans, it's under enforcement of the Russians, I guess. Team Russia? I don't know. But Turkey does get a little bit more cocky until the rest of the troops show up. And now they're stuck in a fucking stalemate. But they forget that this is. Listen, I'm not calling all this in, but this is Greek Islands. Jesus. Fucking hell, why can I not speak today? But anyways, they just go upwards, and then they get stuck into another stalemate, because can't really do much. But then they go ahead and just get some rebels in the rest of Austria. So, but now they're in Germany. This war kind of goes good for Russia. I mean, not really good for the other part. I mean, not for Russia, but for others. As now Hungary's being pushed in from both sides for some odd reason. This happened. As now they're just here. But that's not all that happened. Because, well, Germany pushes outward and they finally push into Austria, which kicks some of the forces out. But they push out of Serbia and Romania, and now they're stuck in a stalemate here. So, not going to be moving for a little while. But they do push into Poland from the north, from the south also in Slovakia, which ends up pushing in the north, but mainly away from Warsaw, because they don't want Warsaw taken. So they do push them out near their original border, but they get stuck. And they push them right back to the Russian border, kind of, and then they get stuck to the Russian, Romanian, Serbian borders. And now they're pushing back again in Austria to go to Slovenia, parts of Croatia, and Hungary, which they get stuck, but that's not all that's going to happen here, because they finally get Turkey out of their land, which I'm not going to be doing this. So they just successfully push them all out. And now they're just going to be doing a bit of haha funnies, I guess, by going around, like jumping from up northern. Because now Constantinople's kind of yoink. That shit's going. And Turkey's fucked. But now they're just stuck. Again, right here. they stop here because they just don't want to have connections here and there. But later in the year, like kind of mid-October, they connect and it ends for Turkey. So now they're going to be looking back into Europe and they push more in. Oh, dear God. So now they push in here, but Hungary loses Budapest. Moscow, Wagon, Rome, Copenhagen, Budapest. Budapest. There we go. Sorry. A song got stuck in my head. It's called Crazy Summer Dance. You should listen to it. But now they're just being pushed this way, and then the war ends by just it's just gonna be wasting more resources. So they decided to sign a peace treaty and all, and now we're gonna be looking at our new borders of Europe. Looking at this peace treaty, Russia cheats in the peace treaty. Maybe wondering, well, how did they cheat? Well, see, Serbia gets split, so now it's northern Serbia, which just is there. Then they fully annex it, so yeah, then they take the rest of Hungary. So now they split Europe because now it's just gonna go pro-Russian. And now if anyone's watching and they're in Russia, this is welcome to your wet dreams, I guess. I don't know. They do take the puppet Czechia, Austria, Serbia, Bulgaria. But since it was not enough, they threatened to nuke Bosnia, Croatia, Slovenia, which they sign on. So they only get a part of Turkey. Oh yeah, Constant. Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna have to discuss what happened here, as you can clearly tell here. I don't think much has to be said. What was it called? North Macedonia was split between Bulgaria, Serbia, Albania, and Greece. Most of Turkey's land here, which holds all of Istanbul or Constantinople, whatever which one you guys want to call it, is split between Bulgaria and Greece, but Turkey does have a remaining part of Europe here, though they were supposed to be, you know, here. But discussions later, they don't. So yeah, Germany. Oh, good old Germany. They don't really do much with Germany except for them to get paid and be given resources, which then so with Germany's fear for dear life, they kind of accidentally declared war because they were scared, which now they got a fucking reason because yeah, not smart. So what's happening here? Germany is pretty strong, but not when you have a whole ass half of the fucking well, if you have a quarter of the world, quarter of Asia and mainly Europe, I guess. But with just Russian troops flooding inwards, Germany falls. Now let's look at this whole peace treaty with Germany. Most of Europe is going to look different, I guarantee you it. Now look at this final peace treaty. Germany gets kind of taken. So Eastern Germany now they hold over Germany, part of Austria. They just have a lot of control in these territories. And that has to do it for Russia. So I hope you enjoy this. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you next time.